There we go. Chess glasses on. Good stuff, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and get some simple pawn endgames set up. And we're together going to try to figure it out. Which is why we're taking Jacob Aagard's Grandmaster Preparation Endgame Playbook. I know this is a Grandmaster Preparation book, but there's always something to learn from everything in life. And I'm going to say that there's going to be stuff to learn. If we explain this correctly, I think that even though this is high level and these are tough puzzles, that we can learn from them. White to move and win, everybody. That is all we have to say. I haven't seen this puzzle before, so we're going to go ahead and analyze this puzzle together. The first thing that you guys are saying is King F3. That's the first move that comes to mind. And I think that it's a very good idea. We want to go for the D pawn and start pushing this one, right? That's what we want to do. But what it's really important to think about is what black does after we go for something like King F3. What will black do? Well, black will go King G5, because if we go ahead and go for this pawn, we're going to leave this pawn up in the air doing whatever it wants to do. It's going to be dancing around a fire. So this king over here is going to start trying to get closer to it and try to capture it. So basically what we need to do is that we need to figure out what to do against that. So let's just analyze it. If King F3, King G5, King E4, King G4, we take this one, you take this one. Which pawn is going to be faster? This one or this one? So we could maybe go King E4. And then what we need to make sure is that whenever the pawn promotes, that it's not going to be on the same diagonal as the king, because then that would be with check. So king goes here, pawn up, 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 pawn up. So we are going to be the first ones to make a queen, I think. And then maybe chat, what we need to think about when it's queen versus queen is the fact that our king is a lot closer to this side. So it might be so that if we exchange queens, we're just winning because we take this pawn and start pushing. So that could be one idea, you know, trying to promote this one first, exchange queens, and then get the king centralized so we can take this pawn. That could be one idea. That could be one idea, to just trade queens and run to the A file. What do you guys think? Okay, you guys think G4. Why do you think G4? I gave you my idea. Let's see. G4, King G5, King G3 looks cleaner. Okay, that is true. That is true. It does look cleaner. Okay, what happens if, for instance, you go back and then you keep going back? We want to try to win. We want to try to win. So this one is not about drawing. This one is about winning. Oh, you want to go King F4. Okay, all right. King F4, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So, and then you just want to take this one. That does actually make sense. G4 does look logical because of this, this, and this, and this. Yeah, it actually does look logical. And also if G5, then we're just going to go for this pawn. Actually, this does look really good. What if he moves pawn instead of moving the king, though? Yeah, so that's the thing. So that is what I was thinking as well. G4, what happens if, like, he goes, like, A4? But if he goes A4 after G4, then we can just go A3, and it's going to be 6-1 for them again. And if they go G5, then we're just going to have time to get our king up, and it's not going to be possible for them to save this pawn. So this seems to be a lot easier, yeah. So, okay, we got a big notation by Action. So I really like G4. I think that G4 might be the move. Let's go ahead and check out what Action put up there. Action has gone all in with this. Okay, let's check it out. So King F3, King G5, King E4, King G4, King takes D4, takes here, and then King E4. This is what we're looking at. King H3, D4, pararam, 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 and then you make a queen. Queen H8, okay, Queen H8. Let's see what you're saying. King G2 takes. King F1, this, King D5. Oh, the king is gonna be in time. No, is the king in time? No, the king isn't in time. Oh, King D4 instead of King E4. I misclicked. Oh, wait a second. Oh, yeah, King D4. Oh, and King C5, and that's a draw. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, guys, this is a very good point. Chat, this is another very good point. I think G4 is the answer. We're going to see if G4 is the answer. But this is a very instructive endgame that Akshay just put up here. That it's really important, if you have an extra pawn on the A file, to know that it's going to be a draw. Wait a second. It's going to be a draw if there's this type of opposition, because whatever the king goes, whatever the king goes, it's just gonna be a draw. Here actually you would just go here, and then there would be no way of like stopping this one. So actually no, whenever you go there, you would just go back here. But yeah, this is just a draw, and if you go here, then you can just keep pushing. Or if you go there, then you'll just go ahead and go up here. So yeah, so there's not really any way of like winning this when there's this opposition. So if this king gets to b8 or a8 and controls these squares, then that's just a dead draw immediately. So that's really important to know. What should black do if white goes a4 instead of moving his king? So if they go a4, then what you would want to do is that you would want to go up here, I believe. Yeah, you would just want to go ahead and go here. And whenever this king will have to leave this a file to be able to get the pawn going, then you'll just go king b8. So as long as you're controlling the b8 square, it should just be a draw. You just want to bring it up all the way to c8, because it's going to be impossible for the king to allow this pawn to push all the way to promote and also control the b8 square. So this is a good thing to know, everybody. I hope that you guys learned this endgame. Very good thing to know. Are we confident in g4 being the move, chat? Okay. Boom, boom, boom. There's a g4 in the room. Let's go ahead and see if the move is g4. Yay, guys. This game is actually between Francisco Vallejo Pons, one of Spain's best chess players, grandmaster, and Nami Guliev. That's awesome. Yes, it was g4, everybody. We were right about it. Good job, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a full line. So they're saying this: in pawn endings, it's important to control the opponent's king. White misplayed this winning position, but could have won with g4. King f6, king f4, and white wins easily. And then it says, yeah, so this is just a winning position because we will just take this pawn. And it says, instead the game was drawn after king f3, king g5, you know, the whole line that Achet showed. White won the a pawn in the ensuing queen ending, but it was not enough, and the game was drawn on move 60. That is actually really cool, people. Okay. Let's go ahead and check out what we have here. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. So it's white to move. I think that some different like things that you need to think about here is one, taking on c6, although that doesn't feel like it would do too much because we're losing this pawn. Then going king d6 is another one, and then g5. Those are the three candidate moves that we have. The idea of going g5 would be to just get the king out of out of the threat of king takes e5, but I feel like after g5 there's gonna be king takes e5, and we're gonna be losing this pawn and this one as well, because the king can always take this one. So I don't really like g5 that much, so I feel like it's probably king d6 or king c6, one of the two. Let's go ahead and start with king c6, which is winning a pawn. You should always check all these out. So let's see king c6, king e5, and g4. This was my plan. And then I guess king here, and we need to calculate this. So I mean, my idea is to go king d6. If you take this one, we're gonna take this one, and we need to calculate this endgame. And if you push here, then we're gonna go for then we're gonna go for this. If this we push, but I'm really not sure how this is. If they push, can't we push instead of moving the king? Yeah, but the thing is that yes, we can. We can. Screws, you're absolutely right. Yeah, we just push it, of course, and then if it takes, then we just take this one. And I think that this is probably gonna be a draw. Like, you know, the king will go ahead and have time to go to a8, but this is, I guess, one way of thinking about it. So yeah, this should just be a draw. Okay, so we have a king takes c6. I think that's gonna be a draw. So let's go. Let's go ahead and check out king d6 instead. Let's see, what do you do here? Here, there's gonna be lots of different ways that black can continue. So either they can go c5 or they can take this one. Takes this one. I'm pretty sure this is just gonna be okay, actually I'm not sure. I felt like this should just be winning though. I think this is gonna be pretty good, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that should be pretty good. So probably c5 is gonna be the answer to this, but because then they're gonna be a bit faster, right? Yeah, then they're gonna be a bit faster. So c5 takes and then takes this one. But then the question is the same thing, like, no, you're just gonna give that one away. Okay, so we have to go for something like this. I mean, the thing is that you're always gonna be in time though, aren't you? Like, they're always gonna be in time for this. It's just, I feel like it just doesn't ever work. Okay, alright, let's go ahead and check it out. And if c5 then g5, let's go ahead and see. Okay, if c5 then g5, let's check it out, people. So, if c5 here, then g5. Oh. And then if this, boom, 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 and boom. I guess that we could just take these pawns then. Yeah, that might be true actually, guys. So what do you think about that? What if both promote to queen, white has an extra pawn? I think it's just gonna be a draw. I think that we need to have 2 extra pawns for this to be like properly considered a win, basically. Let's see, g5, king takes g5, king takes c5, king f4 looks bad. Wait, why does that look bad? We just go king d6 though. g5, this, king f4, we're just gonna, oh! And then you go king f5, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, this one is actually a really tough one. I feel like this is the hardest one out of all of them. Let's go and check out the move that we haven't seen before. We've looked at g5. We have looked at king d6. We've looked at king c6. What happens if we go king b6? So, king b6, king e5. Yes, we're going to take this one. Now we're going to start running with this one. So, let's see. So, if something like this. Oh. Then we'll just go here, and if something like this, then we'll just go ahead and, yeah, here we just make it queen on time actually with check. But I'm not sure. King b6, I feel like it looks good. Let's see, king b6. If king b6, then c5. If c5, then we just take it. King takes here. Then we're gonna have... I mean... Or we go here now. Might just start pushing the G pawn, and then it's gonna be a bit similar to what we had before. Actually, this is just gonna be the exact same thing. Yeah, this is gonna be the exact same thing. We can't get to this line. So c5, maybe we just take on a5 anyways, right? If you keep on going c4, then we're just gonna go ahead and get this one back. And if this, then we're just gonna go ahead and do this. No, we'll just go ahead and go here. Because we can't run with this king all the way here because we're gonna have this pawn. It's better to have, like, if you are gonna have 2 plus pawns, you want them to be as far away from each other as possible, just so that the king cannot stop it. I feel like this could be one idea. 2 outside pass pawns, yeah. Okay, king d4. I mean, like, yeah, we're gonna have this problem, and this is a problem. Yeah, this is actually a problem. Man, this is a tough one. This is a tough one, chat. This is a very tough one. We're just gonna get queen versus queen, and I don't see any like immediate continuation. Okay, you guys think g5. Let's go ahead and go back to g5. I really don't think that king c6 or king d6 are the moves because we don't care about these pawns. We only care about getting this one as a pass pawn. Let's go ahead and do this. So let's go ahead and go g5. There are 2 options here. Either you take this one or you take this one. Those are the 2 options. If king takes g5, then we can go king b6. And then it is true, we're getting the king a bit outside of the whole party over here. We have a little party going on this side. And we're getting the king a bit, you know, outside of that. So this just seems to be winning. They're going to be too slow. And also, like, if c5 here, I guess we can just take this one. And if anything of, like, a push or something, I mean, I guess this should just be winning, to be honest. Because we're going to be a tempo up. So, actually, g5 is very interesting. So, let's go ahead and check out what happens if black takes e5 first. So that was what happened if they took on g5. Either we can push or go king b6. I think we want to go king b6. But I think the idea here is that if king d5, which is the move we're looking at, or actually we can start with c5. But if king d5 at any point, then because of this pawn, black is not going to have time to stop our g pawn. So this is just going to be winning. I think that's it. What do you guys think? So chat, bing, bang, boom. Is there a g5 in the room? I'm going to check it out, everybody. Karpa versus Maria Musichuk 2013. Let's see what happened. Like a G5, everybody. Like a G5. We got it right. Big round of applause to everybody. Okay, let's go ahead and check out what the exact solution is. So, it is rare that the former world champion is in action, but even though he's pushing 60, he still managed to win this rapid event in front of Ivanchuk and Bekrad. Here he messed up somewhat, making the game about 50 moves longer than what it should have been. But G5 was the solution. After king takes E5, king B6, C5, G6, king f6. Yeah, this is the line that we're looking at. King takes a5, e5, king b5, and we've looked at this exact one. King c4, white wins. This is the exact position we had, everybody. We saw this whole line. And the other main line was, instead of king takes e5, to go king takes g5, which we also looked at because we're 5 heads. King b6. That's actually so beautiful. King f4. King takes a5. King takes e5. King b6. And white queens with time to spare. Yeah, exactly. So we're just gonna, yeah, white is just gonna be able to queen this one. Alright, so that is actually really cool. That is actually really cool. Alright, people, we're gonna go ahead and leave these pawn endgames. I would actually just like to go through one rook endgame from this book before we go for some easier ones. I think that these are pretty instructive, even if they are pretty hard. Let's go ahead and do a very last one from this book, a rook one. I want to add a little, I want to spice it up with a little rook thing. Okay, this is the position. Alright, chat, white to play and win. White to play and win, everybody. I think that this is a good one. This is actually Aagard himself. This is a simple training position. I haven't played this in a game before, but this is very easy to have happen in your game. What we want to do in this position, basically the thing is that because this king has like, because this king and these pawn are so close to promoting, it's really important to understand that we cannot stop these two pieces together with just a rook. There's actually, I think there is a little rule. I think that if the pawn is like after the 5th rank, like if the pawn is here or like further down, this is immediately just going to be, you know, if we don't bring the king, it's going to be a draw. So yeah, this is really important to know. So you can't just think that with the rook moving around that it's going to be winning. So you need to bring the king in. That's why king e5 makes a lot of sense. So let's go ahead and analyze this, chat. So king e5, king f3, and then what do you want to do, guys? King e5, king f3. We need to remember that, you know, now the king is kind of blocking us. So this is important to know. Check with the rook. Okay, the rook goes check. All right. Rook goes check. If the king goes to the same file over here, we're going to bring the king even closer. After the check, I guess the king will go to e3. All right. And then what do you guys want to do? If we go back with the rook, there's just going to be a perpetual. So, whoops. So we need to be a bit careful. So we go for the check, you go here. And what are you guys thinking? King f5, exactly. Putting pressure on this pawn. Let's say that the pawn advances. Alright, let's say that the pawn advances. What do you do then? I'm going to go ahead and put up the position so you guys can see this. So this is what we're looking at. Let's say that the pawn advances here. We don't really want to move the rook here. We want to actually like have the king on the other side. But we really wish that we could get the king to, you know, we could get the king as well. So what are you guys thinking over here? Hunt the pawn with the king? Yeah, but here we have a problem. Here we have a problem, chat. Here we have a problem. How did we manage to lose this as white? Actually, we're not going to lose it. We're not going to lose it, but still. We saved the draw. We did save a draw, but still, this is not what we want. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, whenever king h1 is waiting move. Okay, wait, let's just go through this one last time. One last time, everybody. So first move that we said is rook f8. Okay, chat, let's put it this way. First, you block the king from going to one side, okay? That's what you do first. So the king's just gotta move, and then you bring your king up. King can't be in front of the pawn because then the pawn can't push. So pawn pushes, you bring your king all the way up, and then you get to this position. Rook h1, rook h8 check. King g1, you force the king to go in front of the pawn, and then, I believe, we get the king, no, and then we go king g3. We try to have it right in front of it. That's what we said, just to avoid the knight promotion. And then the king goes to f1. We check the king. If the king goes anywhere else, then we're going to take this pawn. If the king goes to g1, we do a waiting move. We force the king to go to h1. We go for this check. King g1, rook h2, and it's winning. Boom! There we go. Nice. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Bing, bang, boom. There's a rook f8 in the room. That's actually awesome. We got there. Yes, we got there. Wow, that's actually so beautiful. Chat, that's so beautiful. We found the whole line. Okay, chat. So this is what the puzzle says. It says, to call this a study is a bit ridiculous, but this simple training position does illustrate shouldering quite well. Even FMs have routinely failed to solve it. The idea is simple. White cannot allow the black king to come to the F or E file. Exactly. So the only way to win is Rook F8, King H2, King E5, G3, King F4, G2, Rook H8, check, which is the line that we said. We are going to promote this one. Rook A check, check. King G1, King G3. Come on. Let's go and promote this one too. King G3, this is the line that we're looking at. King F1. Rook F8 check. King G1. And now it says that many moves win apart from Rook F2. So, Rook F7. King H1. Rook H7. We saw the whole thing, chat. King G1. Rook H2. And that is just winning. We saw the whole line, everybody. We saw the whole line.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to leave a big thumbs up and also to subscribe. If you ever want to catch me live, go ahead and go to twitch.tv/AnnaCramling. Hope to see you there.